At my prep school in the 80s, we got hard-boiled eggs for breakfast every Sunday. The cook, the ruddy-cheeked woman with forearms like hands, would produce vats of the things, swimming in lukewarm water, which she'd plunk on the serving hatch along with a slotted spoon for fishing them out. We'd load our plates, wait for the housemaster's back to be turned, and then see how many we could fit inside our mouths at once. 4 was the record, I think. The trick was then to chew and swallow the things without laughing, which would cover the table in eggy shrapnel. On weekdays, the eggs came scrambled, or fried, sometimes both, morning, on toast, and night, with gammon and chips. Delicious, they were, with just a twist of salt and dollop of Heinz ketchup. As the years went by, I continued my love affair with the egg, averaging at least 3 or 4 per day for most of my adult life and getting through boxes and boxes of the things every time Bake Off comes on telly and I become fleetingly obsessed with biscuits, pies, and cakes. Down the pub, I take them pickled and shaken in a bag of salt and vinegar crisps, ideally washed down with Weston's Old Rosie, the cider of choice in my native Monmouthshire. On picnics, they have to be dipped in celery salt. For breakfast, my preference is fried and sandwiched in sourdough. Lord knows how many silk ties I've stained in the process. Last summer, in an attempt to cut the family's spiraling grocery bills, I even decided to become a backyard egg farmer, acquiring half a dozen Burford Browns from the local poultry man and getting a trendy igloo-shaped hen house made from recycled plastic off the internet. It has an automatic door that opens every morning and closes at night. Each morning, one of my 3 kids will clamber over the garden fence in a dressing gown to see how many our flock has laid. At this time of year, with spring in the air, the girls are especially productive, and we're getting half a dozen per day, or more than 40 each week. They all get eaten, too. Mealtimes Chez Adams are a blur of pancakes and Yorkshire puddings, omelets, and frittatas, dippy eggs and soldiers, plus glorious meringue and homemade gelato for pudding. If we build up a backlog, my wife will use them in a cake. Eggs, rich and buttery, with the deepest orange yolks you only really find when they come from home-reared hens, are the staple of our diet. So imagine the concern I felt this weekend at news that this most glorious and versatile of foods ought to be banished from daily shopping baskets, according to the latest preachy edict from the public health lobby. To blame is a research project published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, which claims those of us who eat 2 or 3 eggs per day raise our risk of dying prematurely by 1/3, and increase our risk of heart attack or stroke by 27%. The findings are supposedly based on a study of 30,000 adults, carried out over 30 years. According to the report's author, Norna Allen, they are probably explained by the fact that eggs, and particularly their yolks, boast a relatively large amount of cholesterol, which has been linked to heart disease. Others disagree, pointing out that correlation doesn't always equal causation. People who eat 2 eggs a day could be consuming them as part of gut-busting fry UPS. It could therefore be inordinate quantities of artery-clogging sausage and bacon rather than eggs that's causing problems. Or they could just tend to be greedier, and more sedentary. Whatever's going on, eggs, and their supposedly high cholesterol levels, have from time to time faced the sort of regulatory demonization you'd expect to apply to cigarettes and hard liquor. A decade ago, for example, the Broadcast Advertising Clearance Center decided to ban an attempt to resurrect the egg industry's famous 50s TV advert, starring comedian Tony Hancock, which had the tagline, "Go to work on an egg." Apparently, such advice wasn't nutritionally sound. The same preachy little quangone more recently decided to ban an advert for a special type of omega-3 rich egg in which children sing the nursery rhyme chick, 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 chicken, lay a little egg for me, on similar grounds. Last month, meanwhile, eggs were deemed verboten by London Underground, which forced a trendy organic food supplier to crop them from a billboard advert. The ludicrous move was blamed on cholesterol content, making them non-compliant with Mayor Sadiq Khan's nannish ban on junk food adverts. Paranoia about cholesterol in eggs has been doing the rounds for years, with suggestible lawmakers buying into it. And like most dietary scares, it originated in the US.